for today's program will be provided by the very talented Orrick Smith, Tim Griffin, Evelyn Lipson, and Garit Imhoff. The golden age of radio lasted from 1920s to the late 1950s and even into the early 1960s. And every day, shortly after sunset, America would pull up her chair to a little box and spend a delightful evening as magically fiction was made to come alive. We begin our program with one of the best-known celebrities in the 1920s and 1930s, Will Rogers. Will Rogers was an American cowboy, a humorist, social commentator, vaudeville performer, and actor. Known as Oklahoma's favorite son, Rogers was born to a prominent Cherokee Nation family in Indian Territory. His vaudeville rollback led to his success in the Ziegfeld Follies. He would make movies, wrote newspaper columns, and was the leading political wit of the progressive era. His folksy style allowed him to poke fun at politicians in a way that no one was offended. He once said, I am not a member of organized political party. I am a Democrat. He also famously said, I never met a man I didn't like. Now Jerry and Anita would like to share some of our favorite Will Rogers quotes.
Never slap a man who's chewing tobacco.
Never squat with your spurs on.
Never kick a cow on a hot day.
Always drink upstream from the herd.
If you're riding ahead of the herd, take a look back every now and then and make sure it's still there.
An onion can make people cry, but there's never been a vegetable that can make people laugh.
What this country needs is dirtier fingernails and cleaner minds.
If you don't take a genius to spot a goat in a flock of sheep.
Letting the cat out of the bag is a whole lot easier than putting it back in.
If you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you have to do is stop digging.
Never ask a barber if you need a haircut.
Sometimes you get, and sometimes you get got.
Timing has a lot to do with the rain. Timing has a lot to do with the outcome of a rain dance.
Never approach a bull from the front, a horse from the rear, or a fool from any direction.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. The Lawrence Welk Show started in 1951 on a local program on KTLA TV in Los Angeles, California. Due to the fact that stereophonic television had not yet been invented, ABC instead simulcast the show with its radio network. Viewers tuned in on TV and radio to achieve the stereophonic effect. To make Welk's champagne music visual, the production crew engineered a bubble machine that spouted streams of large soap bubbles across the bandstand. Whenever the orchestra played a polka or a waltz, Welk himself would dance with the man's favorite vocalist, the Champagne Lady. Incidentally, the primary sponsors of the Lawrence Welk Show were Geritol, Polident, Somanex sleeping pills, and Cerutan, a laxative. As Lawrence Welk and the Champagne Lady, we feature Amiel and Dana Sharon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lawrence Welk Show. We have a wonderful show for you this afternoon. But first, a waltz with a Champagne Lady. The Champagne Lady. Isn't she wonderful? And now we have three talented musicians. We have Orrick on the guitar, Evelyn on the ukulele, and Tim with the accordion, along with our Lawrence Welk singers to sing that wonderful song, heart of my heart. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Lone Ranger first appeared in radio in 1933. The fictional masked Texas Ranger fights injustice on the American Old West with his native companion Tonto. The characters become an enduring icon of American culture. The show proved to be a huge hit and spawned an equally popular television show, as well as comic books and movies. Departing on his white stallion Silver, the Lone Ranger shouts, "Hi-yo, Silver, away!" Tonto refers to the Lone Ranger as Kimosabe, meaning trusty scout or trusted friend. The Lone Ranger script we are going to perform for you today was originally broadcast on April 7th, 1944, and this episode called Footlights on the Frontier. The cast is as follows. The announcer, Dwight. The Lone Ranger, Morris Donaldson. His trusty sidekick, Tonto, Harold Sigmund.
Oh.
Mike, a foreman, Orrick Smith. Julie, the White Hope mine owner, Lisa Illianna. Paul, Miss Julie's finance, fiance, and also the boy who works in the Busy Bee restaurant, Ruth Kadison. Oliver Hornblow, a Shakespearean actor, Pat Sullivan. Finchley, the matchless mine owner, Lois Daris. Slim and Reno, the bad guys, Nee Howard and Edith Richman. And the stagecoach driver, Tim Griffin. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-yo, Silver!" The Lone Ranger, with his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, and the daring, resourceful masked rider of the plains, led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver, let's go, big fella. There's danger on the trail ahead. Hi-yo, Silver, away!
The Lone Ranger is brought to you by Cheerios, the new and exciting breakfast cereal from General Mills. In the vastness of the Arizona Territory, there was no town more cheerless and foreboding than Quartzville. Situated in the midst of arid hills that sprawl like a tired dog in the sun. It was beneath these volcanic hills that nature had stored her richest silver ore. So there were many mines around Quartzville, and it was in the deep shaft of one of them that disaster struck without warning late one afternoon. A tremendous explosion hurled rock and gravel across the mouth of the lower cross drift. 20 men were sealed in the mine's tomb, condemned to a living death.